What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me right here on Outside the Brand. This is your AEW Dynamite post-show review for October 26, 2022. I'm your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining me right here on your Wednesday nights, wherever you may be. Guys, tonight's AEW Dynamite from top to bottom was just absolutely amazing. We had not only an incredible tag team matchup between the JAS and the Blackpool Combat Club with Jericho, Garcia, Castagnoli, and Yuta, and all that stuff, but we have just amazing storylines progressing heading into what's going to be coming up at Full Gear this just around the corner. Honestly, it's going to be a great show tonight. Um, we have some inner turmoil possibly within the Blackpool Combat Club. I think that's going to be absolutely incredible. I think that literally just it keeps us on our toes, right? We have some things going on with the Blackpool Combat Club. We got a little bit of the thing going on between Moxley and MJF and all that stuff there, but Castagnoli, Danielson, and Yuta really don't have anything to do right now. So why don't we, just have some inner turmoil between these three and really get the ball rolling with them? Because honestly, what are they really going to do for a little while yet until we can get them possibly getting into maybe the trios championship picture down the line? If we have something like this to keep us on our toes and to keep that group prominent within AEW television, I think that's absolutely an amazing idea. So, what we're probably going to be getting next week is Claudio Castagnoli and obviously um, William Regal sitting there with Bryan and Yuta in a room, and they're just going to hash it out. They're going to hash it out on live television, I think. And I think having a segment like that to get everything open and out there in the air to try to get these two back on track, honestly, is going to be a really cool thing to do. And I think it just adds another layer to the Blackpool Combat Club in a way that we really didn't even expect. So I think that's going to be absolutely fantastic. We also had the women's we had the women involved tonight, as well as we had Riho taking on Jamie Hayter. And I have to say, I said this on Twitter. If you guys follow me on Twitter, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, I should say you should, because I do some great insights over there on Twitter when it comes to just live tweeting during the shows. Jamie Hayter is absolutely incredible, and I think we all know that to some extent. But I don't really know if people are truly witnessing a true rise within the women's division here. Jamie Hayter continues to get better week in and week out. And ever since she returned to AEW back in August of last year, she's just been absolutely incredible. She has improved not only in the ring, but as a character. The fans absolutely love her to death. Whether you love her in that sense or whether you love her in an actual fan sense, the fact of the matter is that Jamie Hayter is absolutely fantastic at what she does, and she is going to be a woman that you need to build this division around one way or another. I see a ton of people, I see a ton of traction for Jamie Hayter, possibly being the one to dethrone Tony Storm. And honestly, it's not even a bad shout because of what happened later on in that match tonight. After the match, Tony Storm, she just comes out and she is legitimately staking her claim to Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, and Rebel to make it well known that, yeah, I know you guys got your sights on me, but listen, I'm a champion. I'm a fighting champion. So just come at me. Seriously. So I think that's going to be a great aspect in there as well. And guys, MJF was incredible all night tonight. Everything about MJF has been fantastic over the last, you know, no, he's been fantastic ever since really coming to AEW, but especially right now, MJF is on a freaking another level. All right. MJF was in an interview tonight with John Moxley's wife, Renee Paquette. Absolutely genius move by Tony Khan to put that on AEW television. Just incredible alone right there. Then, during the whole thing, Stokely Hathaway comes on out. He's trying to, basically save his own job with MJF, obviously, because Stokely runs the stable on retainer for MJF, known as the Firm. And MJF, I'm going to get to everything that he said in the promo and all that, but he basically said, listen, you better just not even go anywhere near Moxley. You better not even look even in his direction, because if you do, you're fired. And Stokely obviously did not take too kindly of that, and later on tonight we finally figured out what was really going on. Now, not only was that a genius move to have Renee Paquette be there with MJF for the interview, but having the whole the stable on retainer for MJF, that's also a great move, and we have all that coming to fruition at the end of the show, which we will get to. MJF officially did fire the Firm from his tree, so to speak, and now it looks like the anti-hero in MJF is slowly turning to the good side, and I think that's going to just be a great thing. When I saw him get attacked tonight by the Firm, I even tweeted this out. I'm like, how does he look like a heel heading out of all of this? He basically effectively turned babyface tonight. He effectively turned babyface tonight. Maybe not fully babyface, maybe like a tweener type role, but that right there, Tony Khan was making you guys, or making all of us really, making the AEW fans and all of us have sympathy for MJF. And the fact that I'm even saying this is just just out of the ordinary, but it's true. Normally when, heels, or basically anybody for that matter, gets attacked in that type of a manner in any type of professional wrestling company, whether that be AEW, WWE, hell, maybe even Impact, I don't know, basically any avenue of professional wrestling, if somebody gets attacked in that type of a manner, the promoter is trying to get you to have sympathy for that person that gets attacked. That right there, it showed that MJF could, just be something for all of us. And I think that's going to be, just adding another layer to this entire storyline. I thought that when the Firm just attacked Moxley, maybe MJF was going to go back on his word, and he would have the chip in his hand. He would run down to the ring with the referee and cash in the chip right then and there, going back on his word of, winning it because he deserves it, winning it because he, you know, earned the opportunity. He might have earned the opportunity by winning the chip, but that doesn't mean he was going to win clean. And he even said that during his interview with Renee tonight, saying that, listen, I might have been a little overzealous, saying I'm going to win this thing clean, but regardless, it's going to be something that I earned. I thought it was going to be leading into that, but then obviously MJF leaves and then comes back and then fires the Firm, which ultimately got the Firm turning on MJF. It just adds another layer to the story, and I think it's just going to be an absolutely incredible thing. And I cannot wait to see where things go from here. Everything for Full Gear, it may not look like a lot right now, but Full Gear is looking up to be something absolutely incredible. And you guys are not going to want to miss any moment of AEW Dynamite for the next few weeks. I guarantee you guys. I guarantee it, because these little intricacies of these storylines and, just the little details that Tony Khan is putting in every single story that he's going to be preparing for this show, it matters. it matters a lot. So you guys are gonna have to, you're gonna want to keep tabs on basically everything that is going to be taking place, and you guys are probably going to want to, just keep tabs on everything, because if you miss one little detail, I, it's gonna throw everything off. So be prepared. Keep your eyes peeled for all these for all these little moments in these stories, because these little moments are going to turn into something big, and it's going to be absolutely grand, and just and just make everything worth a while to watch heading into full gear. So guys, AEW Dynamite was fantastic tonight, and not only do we have that massive AEW World Championship match, which was phenomenal, by the way. Penta and Mox killed it tonight, but we also had the number one contendership for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Swerve and Our Glory are officially the number one contenders for the Tag Team Championships. I absolutely love that move, to be completely honest, because, yeah, sure, you look at it on paper, oh yeah, FTR have to take the win here, right? No, not at all, really. You'd save you'd save FTR getting that moment. You'd save FTR getting that moment of winning the AEW World Tag Team Championships, I believe, for the second time, if I'm not mistaken. I I should have definitely prepped for this before I even, opened my mouth. But as far as I'm aware of, it would be the second time they win the AEW World Tag Team titles. You want to save that type of a moment, and you want to save it for something big. You want to save it for a bigger stage. If anything, these number one contenders for the tag titles, it could happen at Full Gear. It could. I mean, we had this at. I mean, we had this at the last show, and then we had it at AEW Grand Slam, where obviously they they lost the titles to the Acclaimed. But it's something that we gotta really take into account here. AEW All Out was something special, and I fully intended and believed that Tony Khan should have called an audible to get Swerve and Glory out as tag team champions and put the Acclaims in and actually make that change. But obviously, they did the whole thing at Grand Slam, because it was in the hometown of the Acclaimed and everything like that. So it just made sense to do it there, and it was a great ovation regardless. But now Swerve and Our Glory are the tag team championships number one contenders, and we will most likely be getting this again somewhere down the line. It could happen at Full Gear. It could not happen at Full Gear. We got to figure that out. But regardless, I think that's going to be a great match, and it's going to be something to witness for sure. Because the last time these two teams went at it, this is going to be the third time in the trilogy. It was just fantastic the first two times around. So it's going to be great. We'll see if they can win the tag team titles. I still believe that the Acclaimed will retain, but I love Swerve. I love Keith. It's going to be great. And Keith Lee actually hit Swerve tonight during their tag team title number one contenders match again. So there's that aspect heading into all of this. There's that little piece of the story between that tag team, because we all know somebody's going to be turning on one or the other at some point. At some point, either Keith Lee is turning on Swerve or Swerve is turning on Keith Lee. That's just what's happening, and that's what they've been setting up for a while now, and that's exactly what will happen. We just got to be patient enough in order for it to happen, and it will. So it's an incredible thing. It's an incredible, just time to be an AEW fan. We're going to be heading into Full Gear very, very soon, and it's just an incredible time to be a professional wrestling fan. So we have that to look forward to on November 19th. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait for that. But, guys, we're going to be talking about everything that happened on AEW Dynamite tonight. So, if you guys want to stick around, please continue to be right here on Outside the Brand in the chat, you guys can tell me what was your favorite moment of the night tonight. What was your favorite match of the night? Let me know what you're excited for heading into Full Gear tonight on the AEW Dynamite post show for October 26th, 2022. Guys, before we get into the show, I gotta do my normal spiel, so bear with me for just a little bit longer. If you guys like what you've heard so far, make sure to hit that like button. I want to see nothing less than 25 likes minimum on tonight's show alone. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We love the interaction between all you guys on Outside the Brand. As always, we have our day one people in here. We have some new people in here, I bet. So, guys, if you guys are new, and if you guys haven't really experienced Outside the Brand yet, welcome. We appreciate you for coming on in. But if you guys want to continue, supporting us in any way that you possibly can, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live, as we go live for basically every single professional wrestling show during the week. We got Monday Night Raw. We got a special episode of Tuesday's Talk where we just bring in a guest and we just talk professional wrestling. We talk professional wrestling for about a good 2 hours or so, and it's just a very, very fun time to just talk professional wrestling with all y'all. And it's just a great moment, just to catch up and just to, get things in order for the rest of the week to come. We obviously got tonight for AEW Dynamite. We don't really have a show on Thursdays. We've been trying to do something on Thursdays, maybe, down the line. But as of right now, that is basically our off day, as we like to call it here on OTB. And Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. We have a Friday Night SmackDown post show on Friday as well. So, guys, is basically everything that you need to know. And if you guys want to hear any news or anything like that, that's normally happening on the Tuesday shows, but I will be bringing in more newsworthy episodes of OTB during the weekend. So if you guys want more of that when it comes to wrestling news and stories and heading into the next week, come to OTB during the weekends, as I'll be most likely be doing some extras for you guys during the weekend to keep you guys busy while you're watching anything else that you may be watching for OTB. If you guys missed anything on the channel over the last couple of days or even this past week, go check it out. It's all on the homepage of the channel. You guys are just amazing at the support that you guys continue to do each and every single time. And it's just a fantastic experience knowing that you guys really do care about our opinions, our values, our, just overall thoughts on professional wrestling. When I started this podcast a little over a year ago, I did not expect it. I did not expect this growth. I did not expect, the actual, just overwhelming generosity and just, fandom that this show really does get. I didn't expect it, and I absolutely love it. You guys are just absolutely incredible, and I couldn't thank you guys enough. I really couldn't. So, guys, I appreciate you. We love you, and just continue to support the channel in any way you can. If you guys want to, go to the link down in the description for our official merchandise store. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. You guys can go get anything that your hearts desire when it comes to t-shirts, coffee mugs, tote bags, or basically anything that you guys really want to see with an OTB logo on it. You have it right there. So guys, just go check it out. Bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. Follow us on social media. All the TikTok links for everybody that's involved on OTB is in the description below. You guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at PhillyMatt _. If you guys want to know how to spell that, this is how you do that right here. I'll right there. At PhillyMatt _. You guys can check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok right there at that handle. So go check that out if you guys have not already. And yeah, guys, we're gonna get right into AEW Dynamite tonight. I wasted a little bit. I wasted enough of your time. Um, I appreciate you guys for stopping by, and I appreciate you guys for being here on the journey with me. As we will be talking about AEW Dynamite tonight, right here on Outside the Brand. So we kick things off tonight with the Jericho Appreciation Society, Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia, the AEW World Champion and the AEW Pure Champion. No, that's not right. Hold on. The Ring of Honor World Champion and the Ring of Honor Pure Champion. That's better. If you guys are new here, you're going to be hearing that a lot. I mess up sometimes. It's all right. The Ring of Honor World Champion and Pure Champion teamed up tonight against Blackpool Combat Club members Claudio Castagnoli and Weary Yuta. Obviously, William Regal, the manager of the Blackpool Combat Club, on commentary with the rest of the team over there at the booth. And, it's just fantastic having William Regal on commentary. The fact that William Regal I love it when William Regal just flirts with the man in the mask, as he loves to call uh, Excalibur. It's just absolutely hilarious. I love William Regal. William Regal can honestly do no wrong to me, and he's just absolutely fantastic. So I love that. But this match is absolutely great to kick things off. I really do believe that. I think this match was fantastic to kick off the show tonight. JAS, the Blackpool Combat Club, these guys have been going at it for a little while now, basically ever since Blood and Guts, and it's just incredible to still have, just having all of this take place, and it's not even really all that boring. Like I thought, like having these teams just be going at it against each other for like this long period of time would get boring after a while, and it really hasn't. It really hasn't, especially with the elements that AEW has been putting in throughout the rest of the time that these guys have been going at it. It's been pretty fun, and I'm actually really, really enjoying it. So I love all of that. We have everything going on right here with this matchup. Claudio, he tries to lift him. Uh, he tries to lift Jericho and hits a suplex. Jericho tagged it. He tried to lift actually Garcia into a suplex. Jericho tagged in and goes for a code breaker, but is stopped. Claudio hits an uppercut on Jericho as both men are down in the ring. We have Claudio tagging in Yuta as he hits a splash. Cover 1, 2, kick out. Garcia then enters the ring but is sent out by Yuta. Yuta tags in Claudio and hits Tornado DDT. Jericho fights back with a codebreaker. Cover 1, 2, broken up by Weaver Yuta. Yuta then dives onto the JAS on the outside. Jericho takes the baseball bat but is power bombed by Claudio. He then picks up Garcia and hits an airplane spin and does the Cesaro swing combo on both members of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Hager tries to interfere but is taken out by Claudio. He climbs to the top rope and goes for an uppercut, followed by a neutralizer for the win as Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta pick up the victory. Absolutely fantastic match to kick off the show tonight, and we weren't done there. Bryan Danielson was being interviewed by Renee Paquette in the gorilla position over there, and Renee, she asked about his match that was going to be taking place later on in the night with Sammy Guevara. He says that he's frustrated that he lost to Jericho for a shot at the Ring of Honor World Championship, and he's frustrated at Garcia for attacking him. He says that he's also frustrated at Sammy Guevara, and he's going to take out all his frustration on Sammy Guevara tonight. Wheeler Yuta walks in and asks if he saw that. They won their match, and both men are bickering back and forth, but is broken up by Claudio and William Regal. He tells them that after Bryan's match, they are going to sit down and discuss this like adults. Bryan then walks away, just saying, "Happy birthday, Yuta." It is Yuta's birthday today, and it was also CM Punk's birthday today. No mention by AEW about CM Punk's birthday today, but they did send out a happy birthday tweet for Wheeler Yuta. That doesn't mean shit that they didn't mention anything about CM Punk's birthday, but I'm just saying that they did one for Wheeler and not one for CM Punk. I think we kind of know where things going on with that now. Honestly, I mean that's just my interpretation of it. You guys can have your own, but yeah. Um, so a video package featuring the elite plays, and this was very interesting. People were asking me what what does this really mean. Um, I took this as without the elite, AEW really would not exist, to be completely honest. So the elite's coming back. The elite is coming back. They are going to be coming back very soon. I don't know when. I don't know how. I don't know like the actual terms of everything. But it looks like the investigation is slowly starting to cool down and it's almost over. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks will be back on AEW television very soon. That's what I interpret it as, but we will see in due time. People are telling me that the Elite are leaving AEW. That is certainly not the case. I highly doubt that, to be completely honest with you. I think they're staying in AEW and I think they're coming back. It's just a matter of when, not if. I think it's a matter of when, and they got to figure out the right timing for that, and they also got to figure out the right terms of everything as well. Because after everything that happened at the brawl, that happened. It's gonna take a little while to get their trust back. So if they are coming back, you gotta do this slowly, and you gotta do this with care because it's going to be a crazy time if these guys get back and then they're just going to be right where they left off, right? So I think they're coming back, but it's a matter of when and how and not if, honestly, for me. So we'll see where things go from there. I hope all things go well on their return because if it doesn't, we're going to have a little bit of an issue. And not even a little bit of an issue. We're going to have a huge issue. A huge one, to say the least. Backstage, Daniel Garcia and Jericho are being interviewed and claim that Claudio cheated by bringing in the baseball bat to the ring. Jericho then issues an open challenge to a former Ring of Honor World Champion. Sammy Guevara says that he will put on a show like anybody has ever seen, and he will beat Bryan Danielson tonight. We had the number one contenders match for the AEW World Tag Team titles as FTR and Swerve in Our Glory take, center stage as they try to fight for that number one contendership. This is fantastic. When a tag team match has stakes, that's when tag team matches turn into absolute gold. No pun intended, but it's just absolutely incredible. The work rate of both of these two tag teams is just absolutely just something to witness. Swerve in Our Glory, as soon as they both came into AEW, I did not expect them to turn into a tag team. Honestly, I didn't want them to turn into a tag team. I thought Swerve was way better than that, to be completely fair, and I thought Keith Lee was way better than that as well. But when they teamed up, and when people gravitated towards it, and when traction of this tag team continued and continued to build, it slowly grew on a ton of people. And you see the little innuendos that are happening between these guys. You see the inner turmoil that they have had basically ever since becoming a tag team. And that's basically the whole story of this entire team. We know this. One of them's going to turn on the other at some point, like I said earlier. It's just a matter of when, and it's a matter of how they're going to be doing it. Who is going to be turning on who? When is it going to happen? What is going to be the breaking point? What is going to be the boiling point to get them to that place of turning on somebody? And that's the intriguing part about all of this. We don't know. And that's what's absolutely incredible about all of this. The fact that we do not know is what's going to keep us watching. And that right there is good term. It's just good. It's just good storytelling. I was gonna say good long term storytelling, which it kind of is, because this team's been going at it for a little while now. But it's just good storytelling at its finest, and I think that's going to be something that we are all going to enjoy when it does eventually happen. I personally think Swerve is going to turn on Keith, mainly because I think Swerve is the way better heel in all of this. Swerve is getting more of the heel heat anyway. Keith Lee, he's going to be cheered no matter what, honestly, because Keith Lee, the size that he possesses and the way that that guy moves, people cheer for him. People cheer for that, and it's honestly just infectious and universal. People love Keith Lee. So having Keith Lee getting turned on by Swerve Strickland, it's just going to be that much better, right? So I personally think it's going to be Swerve turning on Keith, but we'll see where things go from there. But this was incredible. This was an incredible tag team match. FTR, Swerve and Glory, they had their fair share of just going at it with each other, and this was a fantastic showing by all four men, all four of them. Seriously, I loved it all. So Lee picks up Cash, but he counters into a Hurricane Rana. Daxton hits a slingshot power bomb, but is taken out by Keith Lee. He headbutts Wheeler. Wheeler cover 1, 2, kick out. Keith works Cash in the corner. He climbs to the second rope and picks up Cash. Daxton tags himself in and starts chopping Keith Lee. He goes for a superplex, but Keith Lee fights back. Cash tags himself in. Dax hits a superplex, followed by a splash from Cash. 1, 2, kick out. Cash then tags in his partner Dax, and they go for the big rig, but is stopped by Swerve. But it's not enough for as FTR hits the big rig, cover 1, 2, and Dax is pulled out by Swerve Strickland. Cash is sent into the barricade. Swerve hit Dax with a low blow, and Lee picks him up and slams him with a big catastrophe. And 1, 2, 3. And Swerve and Our Glory are the new #1 contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. After the match, the Gun Club attack FTR, and the Acclaimed come out for the rescue. The Acclaimed are the tag team champions. Gun Club, they've had a little bit of an issue with FTR as of late. You've seen it happen all over Twitter if you guys have that. And the Acclaim just coming out to help the babyface tag team, just get the advantage over the heels in this situation, which were the Gun Club. So this was a great thing, and I appreciate it all what they're trying to do. So I think it's going to be fantastic to see these two teams go at it one more time, and we will get FTR into an AEW World Tag Team Championship opportunity again. We will get them there, and once that happens, it'll be a grander stage, it'll be a bigger moment, and they will win those titles again. They are going to be the AEW World Tag Team Champions. I don't know if they're going to be the AEW World Tag Team Champions with all the rest of the gold that they got in tag team competition, but Because I mean, let's face it, they already have three. Are they really going to, try to do the quadruple and get a fourth AEW, a fourth tag team championship around their waist and shoulders? I don't know. I don't know. I think that would be great, but it's a lot of work for these teams and for these two, and it's just they're carrying a lot of weight on their back. Now, I mean, not just in a literal sense, but in a figurative sense as well. You have three major wrestling companies having FTR as their tag team champions. If they do a fourth with AEW, what's going to crumble under the pressure? Because that has to have a lot of pressure on you to not only uphold yourself as tag team champions, not for one, not for two, but three separate companies, and then adding a fourth. That's a lot. That is a lot. And if anybody can take it, it's FTR, but it's an insane schedule. That's what I'm really saying there. It's an insane schedule enough as it is. Being a professional wrestler, having four sets of tag team titles in four companies, that's a lot. That's truly a lot. But hey, if FTR can handle it, they can handle it. So Soraya is backstage with Renee Paquette, but they are interrupted by Britt Baker, and they both start bickering back and forth, but is broken up by Renee, who tells them that, listen, if you guys want to talk it out, we're gonna do this right, and we're gonna do it the proper way. So Britt just walks off, and it was announced later on in the night that we will be getting a sit-down interview with Renee Paquette, uh, doing the whole thing featuring Soraya and Britt Baker. So we're gonna get that next week, and I think that's going to be absolutely fantastic. I do. MJF's music plays as he walks out to be interviewed by Renee Paquette. So again, Renee is out here. I love how Renee has basically taken all responsibilities of having interviews when it comes to being on the stage or when it comes to being backstage or anything. Honestly, sit down interviews or what have you. Renee Paquette has basically taken all responsibilities of having these interviews done. And I think that's absolutely fantastic because she obviously cares about this company already. I mean, she wouldn't have signed here if it wasn't, that reasoning. And, to be completely honest, out of everybody that they have had as interviewers backstage or just, anywhere in AEW, Renee Paquette has not only just the draw power because she's just absolutely beloved by everybody, but she has an actual she just has that something within her. She has that charisma within her. People just love her. They love her. And it shows. It shows. And especially if Tony Khan is allowing Renee to do all of this right off the bat just by coming here, it shows that he trusts in her as well. So I think that's fantastic. I really do. I think that's just absolutely incredible by Tony Khan to allow Renee to be herself, not only just on AEW television, but having all that responsibility, getting the responsibilities of having all these interviews on AEW TV. It shows that he trusts her. She trusts that in herself to really get the job done when it counts. And it's just really good television. It's really good television having her on, and she brings out the best in a ton of those superstars. So I absolutely love it. I really do. So MJF comes out, being interviewed by Renee. He says that the devil has arrived in Virginia. He asks if there are any devil worshippers in the crowd tonight. Renee asks if he feels how he feels about wrestling John Moxley heading into full gear if John Moxley were to retain the AEW World title tonight against Penta Miedo. MJF imitates Moxley. He just mocks him just to, get into the head of, not only Moxley, but into the head of Renee, because, we all know Renee and Mox are a thing, that they are married. He tells the crowd that he loves them. He then says that the only word that comes to mind when he thinks of Moxley, he then asks Renee to shut the hell up. With all due respect, Renee, shut the hell up. I loved it. He also said that he didn't mean that he would wrestle the entire match clean. He then says that William Regal's saying he used to have brass knuckles because he wanted to get under his skin. He then promises he won't use the Dynamite Diamond Ring at Full Gear because he doesn't need it. He says that the only thing that he never needed is a grudge. He's then said that he is fighting every scumbag who told him that he wasn't good enough. He will use that chip on his shoulder and win the AEW World Championship at Full Gear. He is interrupted by Stokely Hathaway. He walks in and says that he won't lay a hand on Moxley. MJF stops him and says that he needs Moxley at 100% at Full Gear. He then orders Stokely to not go anywhere near him or even to just look his way, not even walk in his direction. Because if you do, you're fired. MJF then says his catchphrase, because I am MJF and I am better than you, and you know it. Matt Taven is then challenging Wardlow to a TNT Championship match at AEW Rampage this Friday. Now, this Friday is actually happening here in Connecticut, in Uncasville, Connecticut. And as much too many people believe, you would think I'd be going, but it's just an AEW Rampage. It's only a 1 hour show. I'm not wasting my money to go to a 1 hour show on a Friday night. I'm not. So you guys won't be seeing me this Friday at AEW Rampage, but you guys will be seeing me on that AEW Dynamite that happens here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Uh, later on in November. So you guys are gonna want to stick around for that one at least. So stay tuned for that. I will be going to that AEW Dynamite when that show does come to Connecticut once again in November. So you guys are going to want to keep your eyes out on that, but we'll get there when we get there. We have Bryan Danielson taking on Sammy Guevara next. And listen, I understand, right? I understand the whole gripe that everybody has with Sammy Guevara. I understand everything when it comes to, the criticism that Sammy Guevara gets outside the ring with his maturity or lack thereof, and just the whole aspect of him, just it's a maturity factor for him, right? Whether he has it, whether he doesn't, it's the whole spiel. But you can't take away his ability from being inside the ring like that. He was fucking incredible with Bryan tonight. Bryan and Sammy Guevara had an incredible match on AEW Dynamite tonight. It was fantastic. I absolutely loved every single second of it. I thought Sammy did his role really well. Ty, she was fantastic as always. She just stands there and she just looks beautiful and she's just absolutely gorgeous, right? So she does her job very well. And Bryan, he's obviously the best professional wrestler in the world today, at least in my opinion. So we got that going. This match was fantastic. I loved every single thing about this. I think it was a fantastic, semi-main event of the show tonight. Or no. This wasn't even a semi-main event. The women actually semi-main evented the show tonight, but this was just a really good match to happen tonight. I think Bryan and Sammy actually work very well together in the ring, to the contrary of many people's belief. And I think it was just, something that we should all enjoy. If you guys didn't see this match, go check it out. Go check out this match. It was fantastic. So, Bryan, he hit a shotgun dropkick on Sammy and starts kicking Guevara's chest with those yes kicks that he's always been famous for. Sammy then fights back with the standing Spanish fly cover, 1, 2, and a kick out. Sammy then climbs to the top rope, but is stopped by Danielson, who hits a big suplex, but Guevara lands on his feet. He goes for a standing shooting star, but Danielson catches him and locks him in the label lock. Fantastic sequence. That was just fantastic in its own right. I marked down for that spot. That was fantastic. Sammy rolls over and puts his foot on the bottom rope. Danielson climbs to the top rope and gets caught by Sammy and hits a Spanish fly. Cover, 1, 2, and a kick out. Guevara then is biting the head of Bryan before picking him, but Bryan escapes and hits a reverse Hurricane Rana. So a poison Rana. Fucking phenomenal. Bryan then hits a Busaiku knee. He then continues to do the stomps to the head. I'm gonna kick your fucking head in, or basically that spot. And before he locks in the triangle choke and hitting him with vicious elbows. And honestly, at that point, Sammy was just he was asleep. He was sleeping. So Bryan Danielson won, and it was just like that. And this entire match from top to bottom, fantastic. I loved it all. So if you guys did this again for a fourth time, or I don't actually know how many times these two have faced off. I think this might have been actually their second time. If they did it for a third, I'm not gonna be mad at it. I'm not. I'm not. I love these two. I love the chemistry that they got, and they put on another banger tonight on AEW. So I think this was fantastic. Rey Fenix is interviewed by Renee Paquette. He asked about Penta's match. He was asked about Penta's match, I should say. And Phoenix says that Penta is going to win. He also could be a double champion, just like Pac. Alex suggests that Rey should go after the All Atlantic Championship. Then immediately was interrupted by Christian Cage, who says, if anyone deserves a championship match, it's Luchasaurus. Orange then walks in and says, let's do this next week. So I don't know what I don't know what that means. I think we're possibly getting a triple threat for the All Atlantic Championship next week between Luchasaurus, Orange Cassidy, and Rey Fenix. That's insane. That's insane if that actually happens. A triple threat match between Luchasaurus, Rey Fenix, and the All Atlantic Champion Orange Cassidy. Okay. All right. You're not going to get a complaint out of me. I love all of them. It just shocked me. It caught me off guard. That we're possibly getting a triple threat match next week for the All Atlantic Championship, or a three-way match, is what they call it in AEW. But it's a triple threat. Come on now. That's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. We then had Riho and Jamie Hayter. This was fantastic. This was, for the time they got, this was great. We had Britt Baker. She grabs the boot of Riho. She goes for a knee but gets caught. She gets thrown up by Riho. Hits a code red cover for a 1, 2, 3. Now not a 3. A 1, 2, and a kick out, I should say. My bad. Riho then climbs to the top and goes for the double foot stomp, but Jamie hits a backbreaker. Goes for the ripcord lariat, but Riho hits a dragon suplex. Cover 1, 2, and a kick out. She rolls up Hayter 1, 2, and a kick out. But Hayter then kicks her in the head and follows it up with a ripcord lariat of her own 1, 2, 3, and Jamie Hayter picks up the win. After the match, Toni Storm's music hits, and she stakes her claim and holds up her title to all three ladies in Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel. Eddie Kingston being interviewed by Renee Paquette. She asks how he's feeling. He says that he's feeling great and is having a blast. He says that he wants to talk about Moxley's match. He says that it's going to be a hard-hitting match for Mox, but he is going to win. He then asked everybody else to just leave him the hell alone. So, and he's going through some things right now. We'll be seeing him soon. We'll be seeing him down the line. I don't know what this is going. I don't know what's really going on with Eddie, but I think this is an absolutely, just a fantastic angle for him. Just keeping us on our toes, keeping us guessing about what Eddie Kingston could possibly be doing next. It's it's cool. It's really cool seeing him in this way. So I like that. But we have the AEW World Championship on the line right now as Jon Moxley takes on Penta El Zero Miedo with Alex Abrahantes in the corner of Penta. Fantastic match. I love the chemistry that these guys had. Moxley was pissed off last week when the AEW World Championship match didn't go the way that he thought it was going to be going down. He didn't like the way things kind of went down. So he said on social media, I'm legitimately challenging anybody to an AEW World Championship match that just has no fear. Then Penta answers the call. He answers the call, and that's how we got to this match tonight. I loved everything about this match. This match was fantastic. I think these guys have amazing in-ring chemistry, and they really haven't faced off all that often. I think this was really the first time they ever did face off. So, at least to my knowledge, this is the first time Penta and Jon Moxley faced off against each other. And this was great. Fantastic stuff. And when the World Championship is on the line, it makes things that much better. So, I love it. Moxley attacks Penta in the corner. Penta hits a thrust kick, followed by a sling blade. 1, 2, and a kick out. He goes to the package pile driver, but Moxley hits a cutter, followed by a pile driver. 1, 2, and a kick out. I thought that was it for real. I really did. Moxley then hits a crossface. He transitioned it into anvil elbows and then goes for the bulldog headlock, the bulldog choke. Penta escapes and attacks the arm. Moxley then gets out of it and hits the stomps. Penta then escapes and hits the arm breaker, cover 1, 2, and a kick out. Both men are fighting on the apron. Moxley hits a DDT on the steel fucking steps, and that looked brutal. I hope Penta's alright after that spot. That looked fucking incredibly painful. That was incredibly painful. It at least looked it. That mask can't have that much protection in it, right? I mean, it's solid steel steps. You're driving ahead through it, or at least onto it. That has to be incredibly painful. That has to be. So I admire Penta for just taking that spot alone. Moxley then hits a King Kong lariat, cover 1, 2, and a kick out. He sets up Penta for a top on the top turnbuckle. Penta escapes and hits a knee. He hits a package pile driver, 1, 2, and a kick out. Penta then goes for a springboard move, but Moxley hits a paradigm shift, followed by the Death Rider for the win. So what happened was it looked like Penta was just going for a normal crossbody, but he lands, he gets kicked in the midsection, does the paradigm shift, does Moxley, and then lifts him back up and then does the Death Rider, and that's how the match ends. That's how the match ends 1, 2, 3, and the match is over. I thought that ending was perfect, to be completely honest, because it kept Moxley obviously as the AEW World Champion, but it also kept Penta looking strong because it didn't just take the paradigm shift to put him away. He knew that he possibly could have kicked out of the paradigm shift. So what does he do? He picks him back up, hits the Death Rider, and that is how you end the match. That's great. You're keeping somebody else, strong while still being the AEW World Champion, while still winning the match. It makes all the sense in the world. And honestly, it's a selfless act as well. You have to have at least, things might things might not have gotten right last week, right? When it comes to the AEW World Championship match. But Moxley doesn't seem like the kind of guy where he just is going to be all in it for himself. He is going to make sure that whoever he is in that ring with gets their shit in and gets, you know, their recognition for their side of the match as well. So I thought that was fantastic. I think Moxley obviously retaining the championship was the right call. But having Penta in this situation, Penta is going to be perfectly fine. Penta has all the tools in the world to be a possible world champion. I don't know if it's going to be in AEW, but he does have all the tools to be a world champion. I love it. I loved everything about this match. Moxley winning the championship, or retaining the championship, I should say. It was great. After this entire thing, though, is when things really got interesting and really got situational. So, Moxley's, celebrating his win. He just retained the AEW World Championship. He's on a high right now, and he's celebrating his win. But Moxley then gets attacked by the firm. And Ethan Page, W. Morrissey, the Guns, basically everybody that is associated with the firm. Security come out, but that is not enough to stop the firm. As W. Morrissey, they just, they all just clean house with the security people. In the back, the Blackpool Combat Club are trapped in their locker room with a with a chain link. So a chain link was keeping the doors shut together, and while Alex Marvez was backstage at the scene, an AEW backstage, worker saying, "Listen, I have to get bowl cutters. I can't get through here." So they run off camera to get bowl cutters, but I mean, let's be real, that was just for effect. And then we came back into the arena where Moxie was still being attacked by the firm. Mox fights back for a little bit, but that isn't enough to stop the firm as they continue the assault. MJF then comes out looking, conflicted. He's conflicted. He said that he didn't want them to attack Moxley. He wanted Moxley at full strength, heading into full gear. But like I was saying at the beginning of the show, I thought that he's like, maybe I'm gonna go back on my word because this is a prime opportunity to cash in this goddamn chip. So then when he left, I'm like, all right, he's leaving to go get the chip and then come back with the referee, right? No, he looks conflicted. He's trying to figure out what the hell to do, and he walks back, but runs back into the ring to stop the attack and fires Stokely Hathaway in the firm. He fires them in the firm. Then, after everything that they've been through, after everything with the whole, stable on retainer with MJF and everything like that, getting fired caused the firm to attack MJF. They attack MJF, they rip off MJF's shirt. Ethan Page hit an Ego's Edge on MJF, and MJF is thrown to the outside of the ring. MJF fights back for a little bit, but that's not going to be enough to stop W. Morrissey and the rest of the firm. Morrissey choke slams MJF through the ring announced through the ringside table that they have, and the show goes off the air with the firm standing tall over MJF, the person that fired the firm, from from his association. I said this earlier on in the show, so if you guys didn't see anything that happened at the beginning of the show, go check it out. I'll say it again, but it just adds a whole other layer to the story, right? It adds a whole other layer to the MJF anti-hero story. It has a whole other layer to what could possibly be heading into the future for his AEW World Championship reign, because I do believe he beats Moxley at Full Gear. It adds a whole other layer to just his character overall, and I think that's going to be great. But I did bring this up on Twitter, and I kind of want you guys to, speak your mind on this in the comments after the video is published. What do you guys think of MJF being the babyface here? Because there's no way that MJF is getting booed next week on Dynamite. What happens if MJF wins this championship, but with the help of William Regal? What happens if William Regal turns on Moxley and sides with MJF to become the AEW World Champion? Now, hear me out, because that does technically make sense in the grand scheme of things. William Regal and MJF, they had their little back and forth promo that happened last week on AEW television, and they have had a storied past to begin with, so that makes sense. They have a storied past. They were going there. They did the thing, and that makes sense there. Then MJF, he could have went back on his word tonight and said that, listen, I'm not going to do this clean. I don't want him to be at 100%. I'm going to take this championship now. But he didn't. What if everything is happening for a reason to get him as the world champion at Full Gear with the help of William Regal? And William Regal is now going to be on the side of MJF. Like my friend Zay here in the chat, or basically just, I was talking to him on Twitter and everything like that. He said that would legitimately be like its own paradigm shift within the company, and basically just it just changes the entire landscape of AEW. And that's what I'm saying. Like imagine if it just happens that way, to where if MJF wins this championship with the help of William Regal, it adds a whole other different dynamic. It adds a whole other different aspect to the show. And who knows? Does that mean that William Regal is just done with the Blackpool Combat Club? Does that just mean he's done with Moxley? Does that mean that Moxley would be able to get kicked out of the Blackpool Combat Club? We don't know. We don't know, but that's going to be the special thing about all of this. I could be totally wrong. I legitimately could be totally wrong. I could just be, just spewing shit just randomly, right? But it adds a whole other different dynamic to the show, and if it just, continues to go into that direction, it can lead to something special. So let me know what you guys think. I think that could be something fantastic if it does truly get to that time. So I don't know. But guys, that was it. That was your AEW Dynamite tonight. I appreciate you guys for coming on in here. The chat was not really all that active tonight. I don't understand why. Maybe I just wasn't entertaining enough for you guys. I got no idea. Let me check the status of our like goal tonight. I guarantee you we didn't hit 25 likes minimum for the show tonight. Um but whoever did hit that like button, I do appreciate you guys for coming on in here and doing the dang thing. I appreciate you all for being here regardless. However even long you stayed here. I really appreciate you guys for, just sticking around and being here. Uh but yeah, this was fantastic. Oh, we hit it. We had 8 likes tonight. 8 likes. Guys, if you can do me a favor, if you can do me a favor, there's 6 of you in here. Um, let's try to get it to at least 12. At least 12 likes. Just 4 more likes to go. Um, if you guys can do me a solid, get us to 12 likes minimum on the show tonight. Just 4 more likes, and I'll be very happy about the way that the show went tonight. I appreciate you guys. Stay safe. God bless, and I'll talk to you guys on Friday for the Friday Night SmackDown post show right here on Outside the Brand. Let's try to get this to 12 likes minimum on the show tonight before we get out of here. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining us right here on OTB. If you guys enjoyed what you heard tonight, make sure to hit that like button. Please, let's get that like button up. And follow us on social media. All the TikTok links for everybody that is associated with OTB is in the description below. You guys can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at the handle that you guys can see right here at PhillyMat underscore. You guys can check all that out. It's in the link that is in all the links for everything is in the description of the video. So you guys can, just check that out whenever you possibly can. Um, So yeah, go do all of that. Go to bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. Go get your t-shirts, hoodies, basically anything out there on bonfire.com. And if you guys have TikTok and you guys do an unboxing video of your OTB merchandise, record it, put it on TikTok, and I'll personally duet it and just interact with you guys more on that side of thing, on that side of the whole thing with TikTok and all that stuff. I think that would be just an absolutely great way to interact with you guys and show some love for OTB in the process. So that's going to be absolutely great. I appreciate you all for being here. I'm gonna head to bed, but thank you guys so much. We love you. We appreciate you, and I'll talk to you guys on Friday. Have a good rest of the night, guys. Peace, love, and I'll talk to you guys on Friday.